to my video on graphing, giving the y-intercept and a point. So here are steps to graphing a line when given the y-intercept and a point. Remember, before we had a point in the slope, and we were able to start at the point and follow the slope. Now we're going to use the y-intercept and the point to find the slope. So graph given the y-intercept, graph the given y-intercept and the point. Then we have to use those 2 points to find the slope and simplify. Using the simplified slope, graph starting at the y-intercept, or you could start at the point. Be sure to graph in both directions from the point that you start from. Remember that dividing two negatives always makes a positive. So let's look at graph A here. It says, graph a line with a y-intercept of -3 that passes through the point -2, -5. Okay, so we first have to graph the y-intercept of -3. So look on the y-axis and find -3, so right here. And now we have to graph the point -2, -5. So -2, start at the origin, -2, -5. Remember, when you graph an ordered pair, you start with the x and then the y. So now what we have to do is use these 2 points to find the slope, and then we'll be able to continue the pattern all the way through. So if we start at this point, we go up 2 over 2. And so that would mean our slope, our rise would be 2, and our run would be 2. And then we simplify that to 1 over 1. So now we're going to start at this point and use up 1 over 1 until we fill the graph. So up 1 over 1, 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 up +1 over +1, and up +1 over +1. Now I got to go back to the point where I started from and go the other direction. So now I go down -1 over -1, down -1 over -1, and down -1 over -1. So now take your ruler and connect the points and put arrows on both ends to show that it's a line. Okay, so let's look at example number 2. It says, graph a line with a y-intercept of 4 that passes through the point -6, 2. So we have to find the y-intercept of 4. So look on the y-axis and find 4 right here. And now we have to graph the point -6, 2. Remember, when you graph, you do the x first, then the y. So -6, 2 is right here. Now we have to find the slope so we can complete the line. So up 2, my rise is 2, and my run is 6. So we write the slope as 2 over 6. We can divide top and bottom by 2, and we get 1/3. So that means my rise is 1, my run is 3. So I'm going to start at this point here and go up 1 over 3. Up 1 over 3, and there's the y-intercept. Up 1 over 3, and one more time, up 1 over 3. So you notice this one does not have a slope of 1. So we can't always assume it's going to have a slope of 1. And this is actually a graph of an equation that you're going to learn later in 8th grade or algebra. And this is actually an equation called y = mx plus b. But I wanted to keep us honest and not assume we're always going to have a slope of 1 here when we have a y-intercept. So let's move on to the back page. So please turn the page. All right. So letter C says graph a line with a y-intercept of 2. So we have to find the y-intercept of 2 on the y-axis, which is right here. And now we have to find the point -2, 0. So start at the origin, x first, -2, up 0 is right here. So now I'm going to use these 2 points to find the slope. So up 2 over 2. So I have a rise of 2 and a run of 2. So now I'm going to divide top and bottom by 2. And I get 1 over 1. So my rise is 1. My run is 1. So let's start here in the far left. Up 1 over +1. Up 1 over +1. There's my y-intercept. Up 1 over +1. 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 And up 1 over +1. Now I got to go the other direction, so down -1 over -1, and remember that 2 negatives makes a positive. That's why I'm able to do this. Down -1 over -1, and down -1 over -1. So take the ruler and connect the points to make a line. Okay, let's look at our last and final example here. Graph a line with a y-intercept of -1 that passes through the point -4, -5. So find -1 on the y-axis, right here. And now I'm going to graph the point -4, -5. So remember x first, so -4. Now find -5, which is right here. And now I'm going to use those 2 points to find the slope. So I'm going to go up and over, rise over run. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that means my slope is 4 over 4. I know that that can be simplified by dividing top and bottom by 4 to give me 1 over 1. Go. So up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up +1 over +1. Up +1 over +1. Up +1 over +1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. And then, of course, down 1 over -1 and down -1 over -1. So use your ruler to connect the points. And I've got distracted over here and forgot to write up here, rise over run. So that concludes our notes on graphing given the y-intercept and a point. I hope you have a great day.